So we have here with us Mr. Andre Ewell, Mr. Highlight himself, UFC fighter, coming off of a win right now. How you doing, man?
Amazing. One, thank you for having me. And two, definitely feeling amazing. Beyond excited. All
Well,
smiles on my.
it's a pleasure having you, man. It is a pleasure. I'm a fan, as you know. JockPharm will be following you. Congratulations on your win.
Appreciate it.
How's life?
Life is pretty good. I just messed around and got myself a goldfish, named Wheaty. Wheaty the lone fish, Ewell. So I'm
Wheaty.
excited about that little Wheaty. So I'm excited. Definitely, my boy's growing. Nothing but amazingness right there. I'm like being able to watch him crawl and do amazing things. So, and then got projects automatically building up, and obviously me staying in shape to get back on, basically back in the cage and aiming for the fight island. So it's one of those
Yeah, I
things.
know that, man. Fight Island, you want to go there, and your baby boy is his name is June, right?
Yes, sir. Baby boy
Co-
named June.
Congratulations on the baby boy, man.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah,
And
it's a little
also
soldier.
congratulations on the comeback, but not only fight wise, but in everything, because you have a lot of things going on, man. Like, tell us about that.
Yeah, definitely have a lot of stuff going on. From my two fights before, hands down, broke my ulnar bone and everything. So I had to end up jumping in surgery. Had to get both of my knees had bucket tears that I was dealing with for 1 year, and I got that one worked on basically a week before I got my forearm worked on, and then my left one ended up tearing for all the compensating of the other knee and everything. So that got worked on, and then moved into having a car accident. So then that ended up flipping. So you could say it's a lot of stuff happening like the past 7 months, but after I got done fighting, everything's automatically back on the road of conquering things. So I'm all smiles on my end, man. All of it.
Man, that is amazing because I love your attitude, man. You always keep upbeat. You're always smiling. That is for sure. But definitely, we don't know what's going on inside of a person when it goes through a lot of those things. Like it is a lot of what you have gone through. You're like also experiencing new things, being in a second father, a new baby, uh, concentrating on your fight career, coming off of a win that adds pressure because you want to stay on that winning streak. How are you handling everything? How are you keeping mentally positive? How are you keeping your attitude upbeat all the time?
Just taking it day by day. No matter how you end up doing it or going about life in general, you have to take it day by day. Like if you end up worrying about what happened in your past that you can't change, it's like sticking a band-aid over it. It's always going to be there. And then you're thinking about the future, what's going to end up happening there. For you to get to the future, you got to worry about today. So it's all
For
about
sure.
hard work and trying to make progress of being better than you was yesterday and today. So, like I stated, I ended up setting a lot of goals up to get me where I need to go and circle myself around people that are just positive and that's on the same vision that I'm on, and that's Team Ewell and everyone that's around there that's pushing that. So, anybody else that's on the awkward end of that's not Team Ewell, separate the circle or separate them out of the circle. You only want to have positive things in your circle. And I don't know if you ever noticed, from basically we'll start from high school. From high
Yeah.
school all the way until today. Your friends dim down. Why? Because the road that you end up taking as in your agenda, and it comes out as in who matches your agenda and who doesn't match your agenda. And the ones that don't imagine or match your agenda is basically the negative entity that's around. And by you being trying to be positive, you're pushing out that. And then it comes down to that moment that you have less friends, less people you're talking to, less basically people that are even calling you or giving you the time of day. Only the right ones will end up giving you the time of day.
Yeah.
Granted, as in we have our lessons, and long as you end up having our lessons and you make that right correction on that by moving forward, they'll be moved out of your life. And so it's where you got a place to look at it. Circle yourself around positive people, nothing but positive energy, and positive things will automatically turn around and flow in your direction.
Yeah, man. Not only that, is being able also to identify those people that are right for you. Like you said, circle yourself around positive people. Most people want to be with you or around you, and they pretend to be someone to just be in your circle, but in the end, their intentions or their
Yep.
personalities are not matching with what you want or with what you need as a person, right? Because a lot of people can like diss you for being a certain way or would not agree with you, but in front of you they say, yeah, it's all good. Behind you, it's a different ballgame. You know how it is.
Yep. And in that, just like off on that in that lane, you gotta end up thinking about it when I basically it's like the biggest thing I'm a big fan of is time. No matter how you end up looking at it, time will always weed out what is not or what does not belong. Like, it's kind of like milk. Everybody knows milk is good, or some to some people is good. I know, like nowadays, no one's drinking milk; they're going to almond milk and everything. But back then, it was milk. Milk was the thing. To eat your
Correct.
cereal, to make your mac and cheese, to make your basically your chocolate cakes or milk chocolate, whatever it is. It was milk. But in time, it expires. It gets spoiled. That was time that's letting you know milk is not really good for you if you think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So kind of end up placing into those like directions or those categories. But at the end of the day, as long as you end up circling yourself around the right things or try to weed out the right things or just allow time to do its job, you end up figuring it out what is what. And the best thing I always know is the ones that end up being your yes man today can be your no man tomorrow. And that's like, no man, I can't kick it with you. It's like, that's how you have to end up looking at it.
Good.
But like I said, the ones that just shows you how much just respect they have for you to not be able to tell you in your face of how they really feel. They gotta hide it. So in other words, it's either you're scared of my success and you know that by me saying something, you get kicked out of that, and now you don't have that, or it's just one of those situations you just don't belong. So it is what it is.
Correct, man. Not only scared of your success, but jealous of your success. There are
Yeah.
a lot of people that are jealous of even what you say. Like own experience, I like just came to my mind right now. I remember I was in Bolivia, my home country, not that long ago, like 2 3 years ago, and I was talking to a friend, a co-working friend at that time, and we're talking about Europe. Like we're talking about the World Cup back in 2006, and that it was a big coincidence, but that by the finals, me and him were in Paris at the same time, and we were
Okay.
just like bonding over that. But there was like another guy, a third guy. What was his name? Bruce, and he was quiet, and I was like, okay, he's just like listening to us have the conversation. And then when we went back to work, he told me, "Man, you're a bragger, right?" I was like, "What you mean?" Well, like bragging all that, what you're doing and where you have been. And I was so confused what he was saying, and then I came to realize that he was just, I don't know, jealous, but it really got to him the fact that just that me and this guy were in Europe and
Yeah.
we were talking about it, and we were not bragging that we were in Europe, like balling or
You're happy.
anything like that. We were
Yeah,
just
I know you're
mentioning
happy.
shit. You were in the final. I was in the final. Big coincidence. Two Bolivians in the final in Paris.
Yeah.
And the guy was, well, at least you're a humble bragger because I don't like to talk where I travel. It was like it's not about bragging, man. And a lot of people have that attitude towards you. You can say something, and they will have either that hate or that envious towards you. One thing that really got to me right now when you mentioned is like that you live day by day, and especially with what you have gone through, because that could be the ignite of depression, anxiety, and everything. And when you have all that, you cannot live in the moment. You either live in the past all the time, dwelling on the past, or you live in the future, being extremely anxious for it to happen today. So, do
Yep.
you have any problems with that?
Uh, like I said, it's a situation you can't change the past. That's something that can never. That's granted, like they're making movies out here, the time machine and everything. But at this right now, Uh, it's a time machine that I'm not able to touch on. And granted, if I was able to go back into the past, I would change a lot of stuff. But at the moment, I don't have that power and I don't have that tool yet. So
Yeah.
it's a thing that you gotta have to take it. Like again, it comes back to that whole day by day thing where you have to end up basically motivating yourself. It's like there's a thing that like people are like starting to speak of, which has always been spoke of. It's like mental health type thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's that dwelling on the past, letting that automatically dictate what's going to happen tomorrow or now or in the next few minutes. You know, like say for instance, it's like kind of like a domino effect. Like say something ends up happening, like you drop or you have a plate of food, you drop it, and I don't know if you notice, another negative situation ends up following suit right after. Like
Yeah.
meaning after you drop the plate, it comes down to this moment, you might end up hitting your toe on a corner. And then next you know it, later on, someone might actually cut you off, but this is as you're leaving, you know? But it ends up like happening in a nice little course where it kind of lets you know that negative things end up following suit, right? And then it ends up opening up that other door where, as in me, like I'm how the type I am, it's like after the little negative things happen, I look at it and say, okay, well, at least I got the negative stuff out. you
Yeah.
know, so now it's going to be nothing but positive moments right now, you know. And then it's funny by me just thinking that or me saying that to myself, it becomes so positive throughout the day. Now it's like, all right, I'm flowing. Like at the end of the day, like you just got to know that there's certain things that will be negative, there's certain things that will end up happening, and it's just automatically how you react and go about it. And like I stated, off the past, I know that I went through hell, but the thing about it is I'm built for war. Our body, our minds, everything that we end up doing is built to honestly conquer. And only thing you have to honestly do is just believe in that and actually go on with your day by trying to conquer. And if you end up doing that, man, you'll see so much wonderful things in your life. It'll be mind blowing. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, man. 100% agree with you. Attitude is important. Just like the whole mental game is so, it's so crucial, but at the same time, it's so delicate. You could easily
Yeah.
fall into a very weak mental game, mental state where you doubt yourself, you're depressed, you're second guessing every move that you do. And like you said, it's very important the people that is around you to keep you upbeat. Not only to keep you upbeat, but understands what you're going through. And that doesn't mean that you need to have a big crew with you, like a lot of people around you. Just mean you need to have the right people around you, whether that would be only one person or two or three, but you know that there are the right people around you to help you focus, move forward. uh
Yeah.
because it's really hard to do it alone, man.
No, no, definitely it is. Like prime example, when I end up saying like a whole mental health thing type, um, I know that I have like my dark past, like almost going into the moments of like trying to kill myself the whole nine, you know.
Yeah.
Um, there's situations where put like this. Granted, I came off a win, right? There's always a little empty piece of me. I always have an empty piece. There's something, and I know the empty piece is I don't have my first son with me, you know. And then granted that I have a beautiful boy now, my second child, June,
Yeah.
but I don't have my first child, Eli, you know. And after all my fights, I'm around a lot of people that are excited, happy, you know, and I'm feeling it. I'm in there and I'm positive, but there's like always that little missing piece. And granted, I've on a lot of situations with me and how I end up going about it, it's trying to honestly figure out or trying to do things, and I find myself like looking at my like fights, and it's funny. It's like I'll sit there watch my recent fight, and I'll go through each round about 4 or 5 times, trying to break down everything that's honestly going, and then I end up finding myself where I'm lost here, lost there, and it could be just factors that I know that I'm sad and I'm trying to cover that, and it's like me putting dirt over dead bones, you know.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I found myself literally buying a goldfish, Wheaty, my beautiful goldfish Wheaty, the lost fish or the lone fish, you know.
Fish, love
And
it.
yeah, as soon as I got the fish, now it's like that little emptiness that's kind of like that was there, got a little covered up with more dirt. So now it's like, hey, I'm a little bit more positive because like the past about this week, like on Monday, like
Yeah.
Monday, like, you know, I was kind of like down, and it was not only down, it was like unmotivated on like certain things, like, you know, I don't get me wrong, still training, still doing my things, but it's just like the other one is just like there's something missing with me. And that out of nowhere, randomly, I just said, "Hey, I'm about to go ahead and just get me a goldfish, and I'm gonna call it a day," you know. And I made that move and got me a goldfish, and I set everything up like all the way up until late last night, making sure Wheaty's good, you know. So Wheaty's good right now in his own aquarium.
Man, that is good, man. Because, for example, me myself, I was a person that would dwell in the past so much. At the same time that I would dwell in the past, I would not be able to accept my past. You know, as you mentioned, you have a dark past. You just mentioned it. I don't know if my past is dark, but definitely it wasn't easy. You know,
Yeah.
like my past life, like my childhood experience, my childhood life with my mother, with my father. It wasn't easy, and for a long time, I was escaping the past at the same time being in the past at all times. I couldn't live in the moment, you know, and that would consume me and would destroy me and would like, because I would have so many questions like why, what if, why this. And obviously because things were in the past, I didn't have those answers, and I was still, my mentality would still be asking like, why is that, why is this. I wouldn't be able to live life. Now I'm able to live in the moment in a much more beautiful way, you can say. Oh, you're out, bro. No, you're
I'm
in.
sorry. I'm back. I'm back. I'm sorry.
You're
People
back. You're
just
back.
called
No
it.
worries, man.
Okay.
So, but that doesn't mean just because now I can say that I can live in the moment and I'm feeling much better and I can accept my past. That doesn't mean that I haven't figured it out for the rest of my life. It's a constant battle. It's a daily battle that we have to go through in order to have the right mentality, not only on a daily basis but on an hourly basis. We will have those days where we feel down. Like you say, you had Monday, you felt down, you felt unmotivated. Same with me, same with a lot of people. And everything could be going right in their lives, could be the right time. Like for example, with you, you have your new baby boy, June, that's a blessing. Your new win of a UFC, that's a huge accomplishment for any athlete out there, not only for a fighter. Your goldfish, you know. So there were like certain, there were certain, you had to follow a certain path to continue moving forward and not derail or stay in the position where you're at. Because it's so easy to stay in a position and be static in life and just be comfortable. I'm a strong believer that, well, I don't know if you know this, have you heard of this artist, Humble the Poet? Have you heard of him?
Nope. I'm gonna look it up. Definitely do that.
Definitely look it up, man. Humble the Poet. He said that comfort zones are the enemy of progress. And that
That's
is
true.
so true, man.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true. And I found myself being in a comfort zone for so many years. And little by little, I'm getting out of it, you know, and I'm finding a little bit of progress in my life with everything, you know. I'm not only focusing one thing. Obviously, I'm focusing on my family. I'm focusing on my company. I'm focusing on my training, and all that allows me to be in situations that are not comfortable for me, but at the same time, after those uncomfortable situations is over, I feel much better and I can see that I'm ready to continue walking the next couple of steps forward, you know.
With that, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, man. Like what about you, man? Do you follow someone? Do you read books about all this? Is there someone that you not admire? Well, admire, you can say. I don't know.
Nah, see, to be honest, I am. If I do any type of reading, I'm over here on in the situation of like mangas, man. I be reading mangas. Like that be the thing. If it's like once a month, Dragon Ball Super, that's what I'm reading. If it comes into like basically just into those little things like One Piece. And to be honest, just end up watching, they end up sending like certain quotes that just fit and them actually fit me. Cause growing up, I ain't gonna lie, basically cartoons slash anime slash mangas just in general is kind of what saved me and kept me human. Those were like my best friends. Like, was
I
reading. So
completely know what you mean, man. For example, I'm a huge Dragon Ball myself, a huge Dragon Ball
there it
fan.
is.
I'm a
There it is.
huge Dragon Ball fan, man. From the Dragon Ball, the normal Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. Not a big fan of Dragon Ball GT, but then the other ones that came after that.
Yeah,
You
I
know, I
don't think
love the
anybody's a fan
fighting,
of I don't
everything,
think
man. Like
anybody's a fan of it.
it also is a big influence in a person's life, especially when you're in combat sports. Because I remember I started watching Dragon Ball when I was like 10 years old, and when I was 12, I was doing kung fu. So definitely Goku was a big inspiration. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm
But
with you
like
there.
like shows that we identify and help us have a certain mentality today do affect us. For example, for me, my childhood shows was always Fresh Prince of Bel Air and Family Matters.
Yeah.
Great shows, funny as hell and everything. I've always been a big fan of Will Smith, but though the family aspect of the show and all the messages that they show you and all the encouragement that it gives you and show you also how to be a family man. I have taken a lot from that. It sounds cheesy, but definitely from Uncle Phil, I have learned a lot, you
No,
know.
I'm definitely with you because growing up, that was like one of those situations where I just wish our family was like that. But or they ended up doing things like that. Granted, it
Yeah.
never really happened that way, but it was always that one day I'm end up making my family just like that and stuff like that, or have that mentality, but still end up working on it. So stuff like that.
Now you can implement all those things with your own family, you know, with your boys, with your partner and all that. Have all those moments. At least that's what I'm doing right now, because also myself as a kid, I wanted to have those moments. I would see the Christmas episodes or the Thanksgiving episode. I was like, shit, man, I wanna have that. I wanna be around in the family and all that. And I couldn't at that time, you know, because I come from a somewhat dysfunctional family. But now that I have a family on my own,
You
I
can do
am
that.
creating those moments for us, for me, for my boys, because I also have two beautiful boys, my beautiful wife and my dog. So I created those moments and I just enjoy them a lot more, you know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What kind
Yeah.
of dog do you have?
American Bulldog, man.
Oh, the little.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see where
yeah.
you're at.
She's actually the logo of JockPharm of the company.
I got you. I see. I see. All right, now, there's my next question. What's her name?
Sky.
Sky.
Yeah.
Okay. So why did you name her Sky? That's like an added question.
Man, that's a good question. You know, speaking of this shows that I used to watch as a kid, man, there was one show called Parenthood.
I know you're talking. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
I see.
like as you know, there's also about a African American family. So obviously there was the daughter, and the daughter was dating in the
Bigger than
episode. She
pink.
was dating this guy, her boyfriend, and the boyfriend went up to college, and then this other dude came into the picture. He was a rapper in the show, a very nice kid, you know, with good intentions, and his name was Sky. And that always stick to me because I'm telling you about. I saw that episode when I was probably 11 years old, and I still remember that. I'm 35 now, and I still remember that episode to this day, how it went. You know, so yeah, Sky, man. Because I had like a lot of different names for her, like Shay, but I don't know, just Sky, stick to it.
Yeah, see, like how Wheaty got his name was I was eating wheat thins. I was eating wheat thins, and I looked at him, and I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna call you Wheaty," and it's just like that. So it's just always cool. Like I'll figure out like how names get brought about or whatnot, and I'm not really good with names. Like at first, I was just gonna call my goldfish. I'm like, all right, your name's
Yeah.
goldfish because you're a goldfish, and then I was like, nah, I'm gonna actually give like effort on this one, and then and it's like bam, Wheaties. So I'm gonna call
That's
you
good, man.
Wheaties.
But I love the
Yeah,
nickname though, the lone fish.
the lone fish. And granted, like, so it's like a funny story. So funny story. So I'm over here. We're in Vegas, me and my cousin, right? And I'm cutting weight, and my cousin's cutting weight with me. So this is an added reason of like Team Ewell. Like, you know, my team does things with with me. It's like we end up doing it as a bond. So he's cutting weight with me. So I'm sitting down. I ended up making weight. I just remember I ended up making weight, and my whole thing was, all right, I can't do nothing until the next morning. So I made sure that I'm on weight. All right, because I literally got down to 35. I didn't have to do anything. So all I had to do was come back the next day or the next morning, and there you go. So I'm sitting there on the couch trying to figure it out. So granted, like my cousin's on the phone, but I'm not paying attention to anything. I'm over here on my phone, and I come across this tattoo, right? So just picture this little image. So I'm gonna tell you the image after I tell this story. So
Okay.
I got it where it's on the picture of the image, and I hear is, so you're telling me my fish is dead, or you're telling me my goldfish is dead, right?
Okay.
I looked up and I started laughing, right? So I started laughing. I'm like, he said, so you guys let my, he said, you guys let my fish starve for 4 days or 3 days. It was 3 days. So he left his fish, and their job or his family's job was basically feed the fish a day. Yeah, you know, they didn't feed the fish. So the low key, the fish was like starving for 3 days, right? So only thing I'm hearing is, all I hear is, so you telling me my goldfish is dead. And it's like, y'all let my goldfish die or starve for 3 days. And the image I'm looking at is a goldfish. It's a Japanese goldfish. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm laughing at the same time. So I'm here listening to goldfish dead. Y'all killed my fish, right? And I'm over here looking at a goldfish, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this goldfish tattooed, and I'm gonna buy myself a goldfish. You know, so it was like it was like one of those like perfect pictures of like a perfect moment
Yeah,
of life. So
man.
every time, so anybody ever asks me about a goldfish, like, oh, what made you get a goldfish? I always tell that story because it's funny. Like, oh, I'm gonna get a goldfish. Oh, what's making you want to go get a goldfish? I was like, because I was cutting weight and I was looking at a goldfish, and then my cousin was talking about y'all let my goldfish die. So I was sitting there rolling. So I was like, literally, it was a funny story, funny moment.
That is a cool story to have it too, man. Are you planning to have a full body like that?
Uh, well, granted, I am going to put it like this. As of right now, I know I got my back, my chest, and my left arm. I'm supposed to finish basically my right arm, but I'm waiting until I get the plate back out. As soon as I
Yeah.
get that one taken out, then I'm going to go ahead and finish my right arm. I'm going to do my left rib. I am going to raise up on my left thigh, and I'm getting the goldfish that I just told you about on my right calf, and that's the only thing I'm gonna end up doing. And I'll probably do like a little trans stamp tattoo on my hip, you
Okay.
know. And
I love it.
yeah, I gotta go ahead and call it like that. It's gonna end up it's gonna be there. It's gonna probably be the sun, because I have my own little day image type sun, and I kind of want to incorporate that in my tattoos slash a future clothing line in the future that I'm end up trying to do. But definitely get that one. So I'm like making a decision as in my neck or my little trans hip tattoo. So I'm like trying to figure it out, you know,
Nice, dude.
and after that, I should end up being done. And if I do anything, it'll probably on my right side. It'll be something. But my whole right leg, besides the goldfish on my calf, is going to be no touch or no tattoos besides the goldfish.
Like on your, do you have tattoos on your thighs?
No, not yet. That's I'm going to end up aiming for basically at the end of the year. But
I
right now,
heard.
my goal is to fight 2 more times. So I want to fight
Okay.
2 more times before I end up even getting touched. I'm supposed to touch my ribs, but my rib tattoo, I'm gonna end up taking my time on that one. I'm thinking like I want to go ahead and kind of complete my thigh, uh, and then end up working into the to the ribs. But right now, that's like a nice coin flip. So it's kind of end up seeing what I'm going to end up doing on that direction. But it's going to either be my thigh or my rib. So everything kind of like floats on uh how I'm going to end up angling that. But again, I want to fight 2 more times, so I want to
Yeah.
get a fight in basically on the island. And once I land that one, after I'm done, might do the tattoo or fight 1 more time or 2 more times. Like I said, end up aiming for 2 more times, so 2 more out of the rest of the year, and then at the end of the year, go ahead and get a tattoo. or work on the tattoos.
Man, because like I have the also that goal to have not a full body tattoo, but like at least to have my both arms covered. I want to work more on my back. I have like some designs on my back. I want to like make it more of a story, because the tattoo artist that I have today is very interesting. She is the one who is designing the tattoos for my sleeves right now, and she's kind of like making a story. So for example, my right arm is making a story about my family, and then on the left arm she will make a story about my past, uh the struggles
Okay.
in
Okay.
martial arts as well. You know, it's kind of cool. But damn, man, like the elbow part, it hurts here, bro. It hurts so much. Yeah. Oh man,
For me, it's
it's
actually been,
covered.
hey, it's crazy because nah, I promise you. And it's like I was doing like a whole bunch of cover. I think what made it worse on for me on everything is that, or granted, let me take that back. I think on my side I don't feel much. Everything that my my left arm did cover up when he's digging, he's already going hard. So the time that he gets to the spot, I'm already used to the fact that him trying to go, him digging on everything else. So everything's just kind of copacetic. But don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I ended up doing numbing cream anyway. So it's like I'm numbing everything on, my life. But sometimes that stuff don't work. Sometimes it wears off, especially with my tattoo artist. He has like this moment where he'll tell you, yeah, we're gonna start at 12:30. You get there at 12:30. He ain't starting until basically 1:30/2. And I already put the numb cream on, and you only get like 2 hours. You feel me? So the time that he starts, I only got 30 minutes left of the shit, or of the stuff. And
Yeah,
then it's
yeah.
like he's blazing me through, and then it's like, so with him, that's why I'm saying like on the rib part, everything kind of like depends on, if I do my rib or thigh. It's like if he's taking his time, I'm gonna go straight thigh. If
Yeah.
he's like on top of time, like he has like this little process. Okay, we're ready. I already got everything. I'm just the only thing I got to do is come in. I'm gonna stick it on. Then I'm gonna end up just doing the rib. But everything kind of like floats on him because that's one of those. If you touch my rib, man, I need to be like straight out numb. I need to be
Yeah,
straight
bro.
out numb,
That's
not
like
even
one of the,
playing.
because I want to have a tattoo on the rib cage, but man, it's going. I know it's going to hurt. That's why I've been putting it off for such a long
Yeah.
time. And same with you, man. My tattoo artist, bro. I because she doesn't like using numbing creams. She's against it. She's like, nah, you got to take it and stuff like that. You know. And then so what I did is like I took a painkiller before my session, but she likes to do a chit chat when you arrive. So, but it's not like, hey, how you doing? How's life? Is good? Okay, let's get started. It's like a long ass conversation, which I don't mind. But then, like you said, the effects of the painkiller wears off, and then when it's time to get tatted, it hurts like hell. And then she has
Yeah.
this process that is very. It hurts me more, her process, because I like to just get it over with. Don't stop, just like do it once and don't stop. But she like does this a little bit, she stops and she talks to you, so kind of like the wound is open, then she continues and then she stops and she talks to you more. Man, and
Hey,
and, and I love her. Don't get me wrong, she's a cool person, she's a cool lady. But on purpose, sometimes I'm trying to watch a movie on purpose just for her to just continue doing the work. But nah, it didn't work out, man. That was painful as hell.
hey, it sounds like so. I feel like your tattoo artist would get along with mine because mine. Don't get me wrong, he moves fast though, and that's like other shocking part about it. Like he actually moves like really fast. It's just one of those moments. It's its whole setup, because and it's not even him setting up. It's just a lot of I don't know what it is, but it's like a lot of things end up like directing straight into him where it's like he gets a random phone call or if it's not the random phone call, it's like him got to go outside or something like that. And it pulls him. And then obviously, man, I'm always catch up because, it's like one of those situations where it's like, okay, because we're actually, we're like friends. It's not just you're just my tattoo artist and I'm your client. And it's actually, no, we're actually cool,
Yeah.
getting him a baby shower and like, the whole nine. So it's like at times, like, or now to talk about those times like we talk is definitely cool. It's just, my thing is, if you knew we about to do this, let me know so I didn't put the numb cream on.
Yeah.
So I can do
Exactly.
it after we do the full ass talking. And then And then and it's like I said, it was like surprise. Like one day I didn't put the numb cream on until I got there, and then we talked. And as soon as he said this, I'm like, all right, now I'm about to numb myself up, and then you're gonna have to wait basically an hour and 30 minutes. So I'll go ahead and drive off somewhere with the numb cream on, and then I'll come back and be like, all right, I'm ready, like stuff like that. It's like with him, you gotta like basically make a plan to actually put the stuff on, you know. And but for me, like I said, I ended up dealing with it because one time I had like a random edible, and I forgot I had the random edible, and it got into this moment that I went in and actually got this tattoo. It's a toad, lucky,
Okay.
basically a lucky charm, right? Or good fortune, what it means. And this was actually what made me go ahead and start getting numb cream. He ended up tattooing me. He tattooed my arm, and it was literally the first 5/10 minutes I wanted to stop. It was literally one of those moments like, hey, I was getting ready to tell him like I'm good because the edible made me feel everything. Everything was
Yeah.
alert and all that other stuff. And I was like, yeah, whoever. I was like, no more ever of that. And on top of that, I'm always numbing myself. Or, it had to be in something in those categories for me to end up moving forward with any more tattoos.
Yeah, yeah. They do tell you that because I remember I was in Central America when I got this. I had this big tattoo here, like you cannot see it, but it's like a lion, right?
Okay.
And I was in Central America. I was in Costa Rica, and I was getting tatted by the first tattoo artist that Costa Rica ever had. Shout outs to Memo. Um, so I arrived and he was smoking some weed. I was like, yeah, man, I wanna take a hit, but I'm gonna get tatted right now. And he's like, man, you know what? Nothing's gonna happen. Actually, gonna help you. And I was really because I've been told that when you drink alcohol or when you take any like you consume edibles or you smoke weed or something like that, it enhances the pain. It's
He
like
did.
that is only true with alcohol. He told me. I'm like, really? And now in my mind, well, okay, he's the tattoo artist. He's old. He knows. He's been in the game for a long time, so he knows. So I went to talk up with him a little before the session, and bro, oh my lord, man, like my forearm immediately was in pain, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I thought it was gonna ease the pain, and he was like, yeah, it's supposed to. Man, this is like 50 times painful than it usually is.
Hey, and that's
It's
what I was
crazy.
hoping for. And it was the opposite. So I was like I said, I'm numbing everything. I don't care. And they be trying to talk me out of it. And I'm like, look, at this moment, don't even talk to me. If it can't, it's
Yeah,
like
man.
I'm
Like,
numbing it. And if it ends up changing, the fact is, hey, we're gonna have to go at a new spot. It'd be like something like that. But definitely learned my lesson off of those, man.
no, for sure, man. I'm ordering my numbing cream already, man. Before my next session, for sure.
Like about to have me do the same thing. Might as well be well prepared for December. Cause I
Yeah,
already
for
know my
sure,
artist is
bro.
waiting for me.
Yeah, man. Like one thing I want to mention about is like about your post interview fight of the UFC. Wheelie Beeman.
Willie B, man, make the girls go
Hey,
crazy.
hey, hey, bro. Like when you mentioned that, as soon as you said Wheelie Beeman, I got it. But like
You see,
I'm assuming that the people you're talking to, the reporters and everything, they were like quiet.
and they were quiet except one person, but it was one of those moments like I think he was like registering, like, did he really say Willie Beeman? And I was like, make the girls go crazy. I was like, no
Yeah,
one watched it. He was like, yeah, it'll give him Sunday. Like you hear it like echo in the back, but it was one of those moments like you can see it's like, all right, let me register, like make sure he actually said Willie Beeman. And then when I said make the
yeah,
girls
yeah,
go crazy, then they like he caught on, like, oh, and it was like, anybody watching? He was like, yeah, we get Sunday. And I was like, all right. I was like, right now you guys have me out here thinking like y'all didn't watch it. Like, I'm about to break
yeah.
it down and explain, you know? But 100%, like Willie Beeman, like it was a good movie. I'm a bit huge fan of Jamie Foxx. Grew up watching him. Grew up just becoming a fan, and basically as of every movie that probably one of the good movies because I ended up seeing a serious side of him, and at the same time not only a serious side that he ended up bringing out what most people end up doing, like you come from nothing type thing, or you make a team and you're that guy, the third string, you ain't supposed to be playing, they had their star, and then you get that chance, and when you got that chance, basically you ran with it and blew up, right? And that's where it kind of like basically I ended up the role that I ended up in taking. I was like a Willie Beamen because right now I already know I'm a star, but now the thing is making everybody else know that believe that I'm a star. Because I believe I am. Now I need to get the world to believe that I am. Like, you know, and for me to end up doing that, I got to honestly do spectacular things. I got to end up taking, like I said, my team, Team Ewell, into a world that we have never been at. Like, you know, to
Yeah.
a level that, hey, we're here. Because, you know, one thing about like Riverside, don't get me wrong, like our Riverside size California, we got great fighters in the IE, right? But the thing is, not everybody knows about them. And then the ones that do, or are the people that do know, it kind of gets bad because they started sooner than I did. Are you with me? So
Yeah.
sooner, it's like that Strike Force wasn't really a big thing, you know. And now the UFC is became one of the biggest sports ever. It's like up there with NFL. Some people didn't or waiting for NFL. They're watching UFC until NFL came / NBA and all that other stuff. You know,
Yeah.
UFC is up there, and some of the people that are in the Strike Force that are killing the game, you know, they either retired or they moved into Bellator, or you know, or won championship, or they just kind of just, you know, doing their own thing by building other stuff. But you only heard of them, but now it's what's being shown in the UFC is who's fighting today, you know? So at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Like I end up feeling like I'm Willie Beeman at the moment, you know? Got to end up making the girls go crazy.
Yeah, it's because it shows in that movie shows the journey of an athlete from like when you are in a really good team. Because if I'm not mistaken, he was a what in the movie he was in the Miami Sharks.
Yep, Miami Sharks.
Miami Sharks, yeah. So he started. He was a replacement. He was in the bench. Then he became starter. He got that fame. It got up to his head. He lost his girl. He lost his the teammates' confidence. The teammates hated him. He was having problems with his coach, and in the end, he kind of like became humble again, and then like they won the game, right? So that's a trajectory, and that's a usual trajectory for many athletes because you can start at the
Yep.
but you always start at the bottom. Once you get to that level of success, it's extremely easy to get into your head, and your
Yep.
ego just blows up, and that's when you start
Yep.
becoming an asshole, man.
Yep. And then, you know, that's like you said, off on that thing. Like that's what happened. He ended up seeing, but the whole part was him finding out his true value, you know?
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is in the beginning, no one believed in his value. They just saying, hey, you're just some extra dude that's just a replacement until he gets back. And, you know, and oh boy, even put the old quarterback back in, like, you know, the coach.
Yeah.
And then you know it like burned people in at the end of it where one of the coaches left and took Wheaty Beamen with him and everything, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's like one of those situations like they didn't see the value, they try to undervalue, and it's, you know, just like in like real life, people will end up undervaluing, you know, the whole situation, and this was that moment you got to know your value. And Willie Beeman knew his value. No matter how you end up looking at it, he knew his value. And granted, like he became a douche, but like you said, he ended up rehumbling himself.
Yeah.
And now, granted, it's just that one episode or that one day of him saying, "Yeah, I found myself." But again, when you get a new contract, he might be a whole new Willie Beeman 2.0. You know, like upgraded. But how I end up looking at it, everything ends up flowing, man.
Man, and like, how are you coming off all the surgeries, the injuries, man? You're feeling good now that you mentioned the
Oh, definitely feeling
2.0?
good. Oh yeah, definitely feeling good. 2.0, ready to get back up in there, and that's all the only thing I'm end up waiting for. You know, I'm trying to jump back up in there and have a little fun. Especially with like the fights that happened today. Corey Sandhagen, I believe me and him will be actually a very interesting fight. But granted, I got to get myself up there, you know, in the rankings, and I don't think it's going to take that long. Think about it, give or take one more fight, and that one more fight or two, they give me a ranking opponent in my next one. But if they don't give me a ranking opponent, then I think one more fight should at least put me in there or close to it, that they'll give me a ranking opponent that follows, you know. So that's the part that where I'm at. But closer I get to the top, So I get to fight a guy named Corey Sandhagen. Which one?
Oh,
Congratulations on your fight or your win, brother.
good man. Yeah, shout outs to him and congratulations on his fight. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. Like speaking of fights, you were like at the beginning of our conversation, you were mentioning that you just finished watching the UFC event right now, the UFC Fight Night. Uh, I didn't see it because like I said, it's very early here. But
Mm.
man, I saw the highlights and this guy Buckley, his knockout, that was
Hey, that was clean.
insane.
I was eating and I was like someone was talking to me. One of my future partners was talking to me and I was like, I don't know, whatever she was saying. I'm like, all right, I'm listening. And then I was like, oh, dang, right? And then it was like, oh, what happened? Oh no, you gotta listen to me. I was like, I get it, but look. And then she sees it, and then all you hear her say is, oh, dang. So it's like we all both were saying, oh, dang. That was clean. That was clean. It was so clean that like I'm gonna go out there and try it. Like, I know I can hit the move. Now I want to throw it. You feel me?
Give it a
Just to
try,
say he ain't the
man.
only
Give
one
it
that
a
can do it.
try.
Yeah, I'm getting knocked out. I'm gonna tell them like you ain't the only one that can do it. You beat my 50K too.
Yeah, because it was crazy. Because like I saw it on the phone, and also my reaction was loud though. It was like, oh, it was like
Yeah.
5 a.m. here. Oh shit, I need to. Everybody's sleeping. Like the babies are sleeping. But
Yeah.
that was, oh man, like one of the best knockouts in the UFC.
As of right now, they're saying it 2020 best knockout, and like I said, if anything, it should be the best, or at least a contender with the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure, man. But let's talk about your fight, man. Your last fight. That was a great scrap you both had, man. I love your technique. You kept. I love the fact that you kept composed at all times because you had a tough opponent, man. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nothing but respect to Irwin. The dude's a warrior, Mexican warrior. That's one of those things that people already know that comes with the package. And he was tough. The dude, nothing but like I said, nothing but love to that dude. Um, Fucking heart, or excuse me, he got heart and the damn super chin that he had because I was hitting the mess out of it.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, you're eating these, and and it was like, just looking. I know I ended up hurting him. Like I hurt him a lot, and it was just one of those things. Like his body was, or his legs was not allowing him down, and I'm like, hey, I'm giving that to you. But it ends up happening. But like I said, it's like the whole 2.0. Like just the fact of saying me having good knees, able to that automatically already changed my game of how I used to end up fighting. I used to automatically put pressure on everybody. I'm the bigger guy that's at 135, no matter how you end up looking at it. I'm basically quicker, I hit harder, and on top of that, I am quick. Like,
You are.
so I
I
can
love
end
the
up
fact that
playing
your
that.
hands are down all the time, but you know when to pick them up when the time comes.
And that's the whole point. Granted, like, my corner be yelling at me about it, but at the end of the day, it's about being comfortable. And me in those situations, I like put like this. I am the guy that don't mind swimming in with the sharks. And I'm talking about great white sharks because I feel that I am the great white shark that's also into that ocean / cage. In my eyes, it's you got to worry about me. And granted, if my hands is down, it goes to that moment you get one attempt, and after that one attempt, it's either you land or don't land. And if you land, hey, points to you, but just know that I just hit the shit out of you after you got done landing. Now, if you miss, now you got something to worry about. As in, by you missing, what am I getting ready to honestly fire back at you with? So at the end of the day, I play that high risk, high reward type of thing, and that's just my style. No matter how you end up looking at it, I'm a big fan of Sanda China type style. If anybody knows it, it's spelled SANDA period China. If you end up Instagramming that, just the fact is in that their style it's very similar. My style is very similar to it. And granted, like I end up adding a lot of risk to that style. So I have that style with a lot of risk, and my style is very hard to automatically predict or go about or actually prepare for or end up doing, because that's a lot of faith into your skills. You got to end up putting a lot of faith in what you honestly do in your hands, of your reactions, your reflexes. That's a lot of stuff. And even granted, when sometimes it looks like you're just tired, you're still ripping, you know. And I'm very explosive, and that's like the Sanda China style, very explosive. Soon as you miss, they rip, pop, and then pop. You end up kicking or throwing, they're ripping with something, and it's very explosive. And granted, like, you got to be able to keep up with that pace. But I have a great conditioning coach, which is my cousin, that makes sure that I'm keeping up with that pace. And then I got my brother, which is my boxing coach, that makes sure that I'm throwing those hands at that pace. And then I have my Muay Thai coach that's making sure that when I kick, I'm kicking, snapping at that pace. And then when it comes down to rolling or whatnot, I have a pace that's able to stop people and still automatically push forward. So it's a style, man. That's
Yeah, I
just
was
how I
going
am.
to
I'm a
ask
high
you,
risk,
like,
high reward.
in the rolling aspect and on the ground game, are you explosive as well there?
That I am. That I am. Just granted, did you end up seeing it, but you end up seeing me not minding to take it to the ground. And to be honest, if, like I stated, if I didn't have a bucket tear, which is a bucket tear, is my MCL. MCL is a bucket tear of the situation. If I ended up bending in an awkward position or hyperextending it or into a different direction or whatever the case, my leg will end up locking up. And then if it locks up, what ends up happening, I have to I have to redo the process or rebend it or do something to unlock the joint. So it's like a little flap that flaps into the joints and it gets stuck there. For you to unloosen it, you got to do extra stuff. So like the last 3 fights, so against my Dos Santos, Chito, and Martinez, those 3 fights I had the bucket tear. And the time that or Dos Santos, it didn't lock up on me because I was basically kept my distance in certain ranges where it didn't end up happening. And granted that I ended up bending my leg into a certain situation, but the weight cut kind of like saved that whole situation where it didn't lock up. But with Chito, he ended up kicking it and it basically popped out and the flap ended up getting like locked up in my knee. So there's like my momentum of moving or mobility of moving everything was basically limited. No excuse. He was a better dude that night. Granted, that was giving him work, but I got caught off of certain little small things because of that. So, and then the same thing with Martinez. There's a lot of situations where, like, when he ended up holding me on the gate, I could end up easily taking the dude down. Let's be real. And at the same time, there's like before the whole arm was flapping and everything. Actually, the first 10 seconds, there was like certain things I couldn't really sit on my punches to automatically rip through things, like, you know. And so you end up having a different type of fighter. Before I ended up fighting Irwin, everything got cleared. Now my legs don't lock. Now that I have 2 good knees, now I'm able to wrestle / sprawl / shoot up triangles or sit on the floor or actually work snap downs and stuff like that. So basically it's a whole completely different type of fighter. I'm a different fighter now, you know. So in other words, it's one of those, hey, you try to take me down, it's cool, because guess what, I believe my takedown defense is off the chain, and on top of that, I'm going to reshoot or snap you down to force you end up to roll with me. So now I'm down to roll. So this goes out to all the black belts that's out there. I'm down to roll. All the damn wrestlers that feel like they're a better wrestler than me, I'm definitely down to wrestle. So let's have that little let's see whose floor game is better. That's
Nice.
how I feel.
Love that. Love that. Like, you're up anytime. Like, it says, like, okay, let's do it. You're up for it, right? Any
Oh,
person, any
definitely.
moment. That's good, man. That's good. What about, like, with this guy? What's your thoughts on this guy? What's his name? Sean O'Malley, Sugar O'Malley.
Oh, nothing but love to him, you know. He's exciting. People love him. UFC definitely backed them. You know, anybody can be a superstar as long as the UFC believes in you and backs you, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like I stated, I feel like one more fight from blowing up, and that's going to be that moment. Like, they're going to end up backing me. Just one fight away, they'll start backing me, you know. But O'Malley, definitely. Granted, You know, I ended up rewatching the fight. Chito did, like, he actually kicked the shit out of his foot. I didn't think that. You know, granted, like, me and Chito gonna have to run it back, but I'm about to end up giving him credit on this fight because, you know, I felt like Chito was going to win the fight, but I thought they were going to rob him in a decision and give it to Sean O'Malley, you know. But that's here nor there. Nothing but points to O'Malley. I already know, like, a lot the world want to see that fight happen, me versus him, and it might end up happening as in my second fight. Not this coming up one, but it'll probably be me and him in probably December, give or take.
That would be a great fight, man. That would be an interesting fight. You're a scrapper. The dude loves to scrap that kid. He's a talented kid, I have to admit, though.
Oh, no, definitely a talented kid.
Yeah, and then not
He's
only
definitely
that,
a
he
talented
just
kid.
really enjoys fighting, the fight game.
Yep, and which I'm like I said, that's like an added reason why I'm a fan of him. O'Malley's actually a cool person, so or in my eyes, definitely cool. And I think me and him fight, I guarantee he'll turn into a wrestler. Everybody turns into a wrestler when they fight me.
Oh
Trust
man.
and believe.
Let me ask you something. What were your thoughts towards the end of your third round with Irwin when he was elbowing you down at the end?
Nothing major. Like, you know, like granted, like it was those elbows. It was one of those. He already knows it's the last like 5 seconds. Let me get off what I can. You know, ain't nothing spectacular. It didn't change or take away the fact is in that I dominate that whole third round. You know, but points to him because he did trick me. Because he went into. I'm thinking like, all right, Mexican style. All right, it's like guns blazing. Like bang, bang, bang. Like, hey, whoever ends up throwing, and because if you end up looking at that last sequence, he ends up cracking me like 3 times, right? He hits me, pow. I swing, I miss. He hits me again, pow. I swing again, I miss. He hits me one more time. And you see me say, all right, let's go. So I'm starting to like step up on it. And then now it's like, I cracked him. We get in this like little millie type fight. And I'm hitting him. He's missing. And then out of nowhere, I go ahead and shoot. He dips his head. He takes me down. And I was like, oh, little shit. I thought we were about to get ready to like throw. Like, like, all right. Like, he kind of like opened up the door, like, hey, let's do it. And I'm thinking, all right, we get ready to do it. And, so points to him on that takedown. Because I really thought, matter of fact, I'm about to post that. I'm about to literally, when we get off, I'm about to post that little millie. Good job. You tricked me because I thought we were getting ready to exchange. Because I really did feel like we were about to exchange off that pick. So nothing but points to him.
Man, you should, bro. So tell me, what are you doing now, man, to get those 100K followers for you to fight Mr. Derek Lewis?
Man, right now I'm like over here doing the big things of like one talking to people like when I'm here on here. So I'm trying to like spread the news. And not only that, I'm like partnering up or collabing with certain people like the Mitt Queen that I did not too long ago. And I even did a Mitt video. Well, Mitt Queen, aka Ann. She's from San Diego, from over here in California. She's super awesome, very passionate in what she does. Also did another video clip with Coach Cam. She's awesome. End up knocking it out. Probably post that give or take Monday or Tuesday. And then also even collab with Kung Fu Tea because I'm a big fan of Kung Fu Tea. It's a tea, green tea, basically all type of teas over there.
Yeah, I'm aware of the brand.
Fan.
Yeah, good one.
Okay, yeah. So I'm over there. They love me. So they ended up like reaching out to me where I'm supposed to actually make a little video, which I did make the video, which is also made with Coach Cam. It's just I got to make sure everything is perfect. But if it's not perfect, I'm gonna have to end up redoing it. But as of right now, that's something. So I'm hoping like that ends up reaching out. And then I even got people like working on my Instagram to make it more presentable. And then not only that, I am collabing with Coach Cam to do a non-profit type of, or basically non-profit, or basically, yeah, non-profit thing. Okay, where it ends up bringing like people that didn't have stuff like me, like me growing up, I didn't have much, didn't have anything, and it kind of came off like everything you end up trying to do is like fighting for it, or like where we're from, it's literally you either end up in jail, dead, or you become a cop. And it's like one of the three, and the situation ends up floating where I have like a little, or I have a meeting with detective of basically of the IE, Riverside County over here, Tuesday, I believe. And the whole project is just about bringing their people in to get them work so that they can feel comfortable without feeling like they got to go out there and end up, you know, killing anybody. They actually have the basically background to make a difference for the people's lives over here. And then at the same time, we're also trying to open it up where kids of like 17, even younger ones, and it looks like they're getting ready to go in a bad direction. And from like 17 and up, like, 'cause the real issue is like 17 through 23. That's that you're trying to find yourself, and it will end up turning them into something end up being great. Like, like, hey, if it's fighting that's an answer that you need, then bring yourself over here, trying to make it a program for them. And on top of that, for empowerment for women, like the ones that went through so much drama of battery type damages and stuff like that, of relationship, or just in general of, like, I don't really like digging into those awkward words, but the ones that end up going through their little situations, and give them a chance to automatically stand up and honestly fight for themselves and do something better for them. So I'm trying to make that happen. So hopefully that brings more followers into the situation.
You mentioned that you have people working on your Instagram. What do you mean, that you have a like a company behind you working on your strategy, or just some friends helping you out?
Like basically like a company. My manager ended up shifting me over in the direction to basically make sure they're cleaning up what's going on, because you
Dodge
get those like
sports.
bad viruses where they're it's like bad viruses where they end up like basically like spam, and they're making sure that's cleaned off, that you don't end up getting that, and you actually get clean followers that actually follow your thing, or people that end up writing certain bad comments, so they make sure that they getting shown off on there, because like when most people be like, hey, you know basically I want to say like name calling of
Yeah, yeah.
racial moments, they clean that out. And yeah, so it's like a little spams. Like, I don't know if like anybody end up jumping around their little email and they get those little spams where it's like, hey, you want to hook up next Wednesday type shit.
For sure,
And you
all
wonder
the
like,
time, man.
yeah, it's
But
like you
my
wonder
question
like, how
is
did you
like,
guys get my
who
email?
falls for that? My question is like,
Yeah,
who?
it's that part. And it's like, one, how did I get my email? Like, and it's like, so on Instagram, like the people that's like that team, they're making sure that's getting blocked off. And then they're also setting me up with certain people, like I said, like Ann. I got with Ann, Coach Cam, and other people that are just like in the same basically building that I'm trying to end up doing. Like, I'm trying to build, and it's circling me around the right people that are trying to build. So this is that moment I was speaking of, circling yourself around positive people or positive things. So the right moments, I'm getting introduced to the right people.
Well, your management definitely is can fit into that category of the right people. Dodge sports.
Oh, definitely. And I told him that too, because I was like, the beginning of our partnership and everything. Um, I was, I can't, like, a lot of managing groups came across to me. It was after my fight at King of the Cage against Gustavo. Matt was there, like, which I already met Matt before. I met Matt through a dude named Jamal Emmers, which is one of my homeboys from out here as well. He's also in the UFC, the whole nine. But I met him through there because one day he was just there chilling, and this is when he was with KO Reps, and that the managers that came across me was John Jones' manager, TJ Dillashaw's manager, which I don't know if they had the same, but they came across me. The same managers that are like showcasing basically a lot of people into the fight game, and I ended up saying no to all of them, like, but Matt, he was somebody different, and something just told me that it ends up clicking, like, that Matt Dodge is a really really good person, really cool person. His dad is even awesome too. You end up meeting his dad, you'll understand why Matt is so awesome. And I told him one day it was they hooked me up with a CES fight, and and after that fight, he won. He came up there. He came up there with his dad. That's when I got introduced to his dad and everything. They both were up there, and I was talking to him. It was after my fight. I'm dead. I'm dead tired. It was like I went. I fought against Dennis Paiva. Like literally put my heart in that fight. Right. So I'm in the back, dead tired. All you hear randomly say, "Hey Matt, no matter. I just want to let you know, anywhere you go, I'm gonna go because only why I joined this managing group is because of you. Like, and just kind of like just sat there and said it. And I didn't remember saying this, but my cousin told me, like, hey, I just want to let you know it's like something like you knew he was getting ready to leave that and make his own company or something, but you ended up making that comment. But I think by me making that comment, it ended up opening up his door that he felt like, hey, I can honestly run my own business, which he probably already knew it, but I think I gave him that extra push over the edge to say bump and let me run his own thing. So when he ended up doing it, he already knew I was already on board. And I think I was like, if I wasn't his first, I was one of the first. Like, but I think I was his first one that he already had signed on Dodge Sports. And I was happy to be, part of it. So I already told him like him, like, he introduced me to his dad. He didn't have to bring his dad. He brought his dad, like little small things like that. So from there, we just been partners and stuck with him since then, and that's been riding with Matt almost 3 years now.
Yeah, man.
Or my bad, 2 years and some change, and moving on.
Definitely, Dodge Sports is a great company, man. Like I have heard great things. I'm working with them. They're our partners as well. I have the pleasure of speaking to Matt, speaking to Joey. Both of them just magnificent people.
Yeah,
Matt is just a
Joey.
great guy. Definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. And as also added into that story, that piece, what separated him and KO Reps was KO Reps wanted me to go back and fight for CES belt, and Matt told me, "Nah, just wait. Right now with that win, you don't have to do anything but actually sit back, and the UFC gonna call you." And the funny thing is, he ended up taking the chance with me, just like I took the chance with him, and I landed in the UFC. Hennon Brow was my first fight. Um, and it was in Brazil. It was a win-win in a situation. And then shout out to my boy Joey, aka Joel. You feel me, my man?
Joel, yeah,
He's
yeah.
awesome as always. Hey, he's number one right now. Like I love that dude. That dude's cool as hell.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I miss talking to him. We used to have a thing that we would speak every Sunday, but like now he's super busy. I'm busy as well, so it's been hard for us to sync up. But yeah, he's a lot of fun, great guy. Like I said, Matt, there's benefits to being a part of a small agency because the focus is and the quality of focus that an athlete can get from their managers is a lot more, is better, is more of a family type of thing as opposed to being a huge agency, so you get that treatment, which is appreciated, especially in the fight world.
Yeah, and that's something I always told Matt, like Matt and everybody else that are around me. It's a family thing. You got to end up, if you want to end up being successful, you got to have the right people in
Correct.
your group. And Matt was that right person because I ended up treating him like family, and that's why I stuck with him because he was more like family instead of just
Yeah.
some person that has my books. It's like, hey, it's a trust game. You got to end up understanding. It's kind of like the person you're around. Are you going to trust a random person, or are you going to trust a person that constantly basically having sex with people's wives, or a person that actually cares about you and doesn't have sex with other
Exactly.
people's wives? You're gonna be like, pick a poison. I'm gonna pick the one that doesn't have sex with people's wives because 9 times 10 there's a good chance you might fuck my wife. Excuse the cursing, but this is the
No,
truth.
it
Like,
is. It is. That's not how it is, though. That's reality,
yeah,
unfortunately. Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah,
I enjoy working with him. Like you said, he treats you like family, and he's just a genuine nice guy. I was surprised when I talked to him that he was that nice and that down to earth. To be honest, because I talked to other CEOs in the past of management agencies, and there's always that little bit of arrogance behind them, but you don't sense that
yeah.
at all with Matt Dodge. And just everything that he does for his fighters is just for me, it's definitely one of my goals to try to get more talent into Dodge Sports roster because it's worth it, you know. And I know the people that will enter that management with Dodge Sports will be taken care of for sure.
Yep, and that's like one of those things. I'm trying to get them to open up in boxing right now, because
Yeah, boxing.
yeah, yeah, because I know like a lot of decent and good boxers right now. Not even decent, like really good boxers that are hungry and that just need that one chance. And so I'm like trying to like push that on them right now, because I ended up coming across a situation with this one of these upcomer boxers right now, 4-0. And basically I'm trying to like make that situation happen. And I know that Matt's the right person, that he knows the right people, and they're coming to me because I know the right people. So it's like trying to make that happen. So I'm trying to push it onto him, and even if he doesn't, him pushing it into another direction. But I feel like he could take over the boxing game too.
Yeah, man. That would be interesting boxing because that's the management and the business side of it is very different from mixed martial arts. You
And
know,
that's funny. That's the exact words that he ended up using. It's like it's different, but I feel like if there's a way, I know Matt can end up making it happen. Matt's very talented like that.
he is. Yeah. All right, man. So this would be for us. But before I let you go, do you want to give any shout outs to someone?
Team Ewell. Anybody that's on Team
Hey,
Ewell, nothing but love. And everybody knows who it is. So besides that, shout out to you, brother, for honestly having me. So I appreciate that.
my
Thank you.
pleasure, man.
Definitely have to do it again. We can definitely make that happen. So
For
nothing but
sure,
love.
bro. You take care, man. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you, brother. Give a kiss to your baby for me. Say hi to your the lone fish, and we'll be in
Will.
touch. Okay.
All right, cool. All right, brother.
Peace, man. Take
Peace.
care.